On Thursday's How to Get Away with Murder premiere, Laurel and her baby clung to life while the rest of the Keating Four dealt with the aftermath of Simon's accidental shooting. Here are the most important things to know about He's Dead, the 9th episode of Season 4. The show began with police investigating the blood in the elevator outside Annalise's apartment and Annalise accompanying Laurel and the baby to the hospital. Michaela, still at the law office, cried to Connor on the phone, but then he spoke to Annalise. She told him about Laurel and he in turn told her about Simon. Meanwhile, Dominic was spying on Connor. Laurel and the baby were stabilized at the hospital, where Annalise and Frank marveled over the preemie. They were interviewed by Child Services, to whom Frank claimed paternity. The social worker suggested drugs were involved, which they denied. Laurel's father arrived at the hospital, leading Annalise to conclude her dad was painting her as unfit. The social worker said emergency custody was given to Laurel's dad as a paternity test showed Frank was not the father. Annalise then said she was representing Laurel and demanded access to her and all the paperwork. The document stated Laurel was bipolar and tested positive for cocaine, which induced the labor. She called Isaac and asked him to help get Laurel out of the psych ward, explaining that the claims were all made up by her father. As he refused to get involved, she threatened that if he didn't assist, she would report him and Jacqueline for gross misconduct. Connor went to Nate for help for the jailed Asher, who was crying in his cell when Nate showed up. As Asher told Nate what happened, Michaela and Oliver told a partial version of the truth to a detective. When Michaela tried to leave to go to the hospital, Tegan confronted her over Asher's arrest and Simon's possession of her key card. She claimed Simon stole it, to which Tegan told her, "You're not as good a liar as you think." When Michaela arrived, Connor was furious to discover she left Oliver at the office and told her everything was her fault. "None of this would have happened if you just told Laurel no," he said. She ended up crying into Isaac's arms, thinking the baby was dead. As Isaac comforted her, Michaela remembered Laurel went off her antidepressants due to her pregnancy and concluded her dad was now using that against her. When Laurel awoke, she burst into tears upon learning the baby was born early and that her dad was there. She melted down to the point where nurses restrained and drugged her. At the same time, Annalise was held back as she confronted Laurel's father while he attempted to transfer the baby to another medical facility. "You're going to have blood on your hands," she cried out. When Laurel came to again, she told Annalise and Frank that Dominic called her the night before and warned her not to do this. Dominic said her dad knew about the pregnancy and stressed, think of what else he could do. She now expressed regret that she didn't call off the plan. Bonnie was surprised to see Annalise's apartment being treated as a crime scene. She then went to the law firm to help Oliver, after which Connor showed up. After they were gone, Dominic went to Tegan on behalf of Laurel's dad's company and demanded the name of their IT guy, Oliver. Bonnie returned Laurel's bag to her after it was taken for evidence, but the hard drive with the stolen documents was missing. Then at the police station, Bonnie discouraged the detective from filing charges against Asher. Asher was released and went to the hospital, where he told Michaela, Connor and Oliver that Simon was alive but on life support. Oliver was relieved he wasn't dead, but the others realized that if he regained his speaking ability, he'd blow their cover. "We all deserve hell," Oliver said before walking out. When he returned, he demanded that none of them touch Simon. Isaac told Annalise that he believed Laurel needed to stay hospitalized, given her history, while Annalise was adamant this was all her father's fault. He also expressed concern that the night's events would trigger all her pain. She not only rejected that notion, but threw his daughter's suicide in his face. Annalise later shared the only photo she had of the baby with Laurel, who said she knew how they could get him back. Right after, Frank knocked Dominic out. He then beat him up, demanding to know where the hard drive was, unbeknownst to Laurel, who wanted to ask Dominic to switch sides and help them. When she called him, his phone rang in Frank's pocket and she realized he did something. "He's dead," Frank admitted, with the scene showing him snapping Dominic's neck. In the final minutes, Annalise told Connor, Asher, Michael and Oliver that they never learn. The episode ended with Frank playing Annalise a voicemail that was on Dominic's phone. "It's Christoph. I'm in trouble. We all could be. Call me as soon as you get this."